Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chrysler Arena. I'm Kendall Spencer. Joining me for this first half is Vinayak Swaroop. We'll have Will Gregory and Abe Weiner joining us for the second. And you're here to listen to the Michigan Wolverines take on the visiting Northwestern Wildcats. Do you agree?
Yep, I mean, Michigan's won their last two games against Maryland and against Indiana. They'll look to make it three straight here. And for Northwestern, they've been reeling a little bit, but they've played every team close so far, so it's going to be an exciting one tonight.
It sure is. Now, the Michigan men's basketball team, they were one of the most highly anticipated teams coming into this season. Obviously, really good performance last season, winning the Big Ten. And they haven't quite performed to the place where a lot of people thought they would. What's been some of their biggest problems so far?
I think with the Michigan team this year, they're quite younger than their last year's team. A lot of freshmen getting minutes. Caleb Houston, Musa Diabate, Hunter Dickinson, who's supposed to be the leader, is only a sophomore. So a lot of high expectations for this team. And the reality is they're still figuring it out. I mean, the last two games, they played quite well. And it's hopefully a sign that Michigan can use this momentum to finish the season strong and then show it all out at the Big Ten tournament.
I agree. They have, obviously, as we've mentioned, been playing a lot better lately, hoping to continue this streak into Big Ten play. Obviously, it's the most important part of the season, and a good performance in the Big Ten tournament could propel them to possibly earning a spot in March Madness, as right now they're kind of predicted to be like one of the first four out.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Michigan, you just got to keep the momentum going. You know, each game is a chance to prove to the committee that you belong in March Madness. The Indiana game was huge for Michigan, one of their best wins of the season. If they can continue it, I mean, you have to put them in at some point.
Handing Indiana their first home loss of the season. We're getting our starting lineups here in Chrysler. I'll give you Northwestern's. Starting at guard, we have Boo Buie, followed by Chase Audi, Julian Roper II, Pete Nance, and Robbie Baran. For your Michigan Wolverines, we've got Devontae Jones, Caleb Houston, Eli Brooks, Musa Diabate, and the big man at center, Hunter Dickinson. If Michigan is going to get a good start to this game, if you are Coach Juwan Howard, what are you looking to do?
Northwestern struggles shooting the ball. They're one of the lowest teams in the Big Ten in field goal percentage. So if I'm Michigan, I'm trying to secure the ball, rebounding, and then push it out in the fast break and get as many baskets as possible. If they can do that and get up early, then they can win this game quite easily. So for Michigan, it's all about rebounding the basketball, because there's going to be plenty of misses from Northwestern's end.
Sounds like a good strategy for them. Northwestern was kind of the team of the year a couple years ago when they had that Cinderella run to March Madness. Since then, they've kind of been on a downward spiral, but they have the chance to maybe kind of put a halt to Michigan's little hot streak in this game today. Of course, if you're the Wolverines, you want to extend that winning streak to 3 before you leave to take on number 10 Michigan State on Saturday. That's going to be a huge game, not only because of, the fact that it's Michigan State, but because Michigan State is a very good basketball team, but they just lost, and they could potentially still be reeling from the 56-55 loss to Illinois. Illinois is also one of the best teams in the NCAA. The Big Ten is maybe not as good as people thought it was going to be, but it's still a pretty good conference. So getting a win here is very important.
Yeah, and let's not forget, I mean, the Big Ten is a competitive conference. Northwestern themselves won on the road to East Lansing and beat MSU surprisingly. So, I mean, any game you can lose. Northwestern is going to try to pull the upset tonight.
I agree. As we get a little promo video, Northwestern has taken the court and they're stretching, but still waiting on the Wolverines to make their way out. Looks like Pete Nance will be taking the jump for the Wildcats.
Pete Nance is a player you want to watch out for Northwestern. He's their leading scorer this season. So Northwestern wants to pull off their upset. He's going to have to play a pivotal role.
And he'll be matched by Hunter Dickinson. It's pink out night here in Chrysler Center, so the Maze Rage is not Maze. But they're still raging, so, and that's what matters. Just waiting for this game to start.
See players, they look all ready. They're stretched out, just waiting for the ball to come.
There were photos being taken, I think is what was happening there. So that is why, that explaining the delay on the tip-off here. If you're just joining us, once again, this is WCBN Sports coming at you live from Chrysler Arena with the Michigan men's basketball game versus the Northwestern Wildcats. And the ref will finally make his way out there for the tip. And okay, no. And the ball is up, won by Dickinson, but it'll be captured by Roper the second. Given off to Bowie, he'll pass it back around to Roper at the top of the three-point line, around to Baran. He'll dribble back up to the top, hand it off to Bowie, out to Roper. Give it to Nance on the right side of the far basket. He'll try and dribble around Diabate, put up a little mid-range floater, but it's no good. Diabate will take it back up.
Phenomenal defense by Michigan there. Forced a contested shot.
Jones controlling play at the logo. Handed it around to Brooks. Into Dickinson, who's guarded by Nance. Pass it back out to Diabate, around for Jones, around for Brooks. Little hot potato there where Diabate gets at the top of the key. He'll drive, but it's blocked by Baran. Ends up in his hands. He almost steps out of bounds on a really bizarre play by Baran. Gives Houston a wide open three-pointer, and he'll sink that.
That's a huge shot for Caleb Houston. In wins, Caleb Houston is shooting 60% from three, and losses only 30%, so he's going to be huge for Michigan.
I got to wonder what Baran was doing there. He just lost his balance and then just passed it out to, literally just the open court.
Had trouble finding someone there.
Wildcats will try and set something up. Nance stuck, but I'll give it over to Adij. Adij will take it himself from the three-point line, make Jones miss, but it's no good as the shot clock rings out. Recovered by Houston.
And so far for Michigan, 2 straight possessions, 2 straight complete defensive possessions there. So
Nance tried to put a screen on Jones, but didn't really work. In Hunter Dickinson on the left side of the near hoop, but he'll pass it around. Jones has it, drives inside, Euro step, puts it up for 2.
The focus on Hunter Dickinson in the paint allows the guards to penetrate the paint and get a wide open finish.
Bowie has it on the left side. In for Nance. He'll hand it back off to Bowie. In for Nance, he'll put it up for the easy 2. Jones controlling play again. Jones will pass it into Dickinson. Diabate tries to put it up for 2, but it's blocked, recovered by Roper. He'll hand it off to Adi to bring it up the court. Roper has it around for Bowie, in for Nance. Nance being guarded pretty heavily by Diabate there on the inside. Give it over to Baran, who'll put it up for 2 from roughly the free throw line, and it'll be good. 4-4 is our score. 17 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Just a nice pass there by Nance, finding the person in the paint for a nice open shot.
Brooks has it into Dickinson on the right side. He's stuck, got Baran and Nance on him. They'll pass out to Houston, Jones. Brooks looks to put it up, but doesn't. Back into Dickinson. Dickinson will drive on Nance. Out for Houston, and it's up and good for 3.
Hunter Dickinson, again, being the main focus of the defense double team. Caleb Houston wide open 3, and it's splash.
Oh, he'll be matched for that by Baran. Barron. 7-7. Nothing like getting humbled by the arena announcer that you've been pronouncing someone's names wrong this whole time. Dickinson has it. Pass it all the way out for Houston for 3 again. Oh, it just hits the rim and it'll bounce out.
But
covered by Northwestern.
But if you're Michigan, that's what you want. Wide open shots is going to be what wins you the game.
Oh, Diabate almost knocks it away from Nance there, but unfortunately it's recovered by Bowie. Nance has it. Diabate still playing him pretty closely, and they'll have Barron kind of come in and get a pass, but it's no good. He misses the shot. Michigan recovers. Jones will take it up and in for Diabate, who's instantly got 2 players on him and a foul called on Roper the second. I don't know if he wants me to say the second on every single time I say his name, but I will do it if necessary. Timeout called. What are the Wolverines doing well so far?
So far, this game has just been about the big men. So Hunter Dickinson, he's been double teamed, and he's been able to pass it to the guards who are either cutting or being outside on the three-point line for a wide open shot. Michigan has explored a lot with give and goes. Even though Diabate missed the dunk on one of the give and goes, it was a wide open shot. And same thing for Northwestern too. I mean, Peter Nancy is the big guy there, and he's posting down low. It's going to be the players on how they cut and how they move around the three-point line that's going to kind of determine the game. But you have to give it Northwestern. I mean, they're hanging in tough, tied at 7.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. They almost had a really nice play where they had Nance off to the one side, and he was distracting Diabate. Barron was able to come in behind him, and if he would have been able to make that, it would have been a really phenomenal play. But unfortunately, he kind of looked like he was going for the dunk and then bailed, and then it just ended up not working very well.
Yeah, and for Michigan, I mean, the recent play comes to Hunter Dickinson. Hunter Dickinson has been their best player. He's been showing the Hunter Dickinson that he used to be these last couple of games. He's now making threes. He's been 9 of 23 on the season, almost 40% from 3. So if you're Michigan, I mean, the team runs through Hunter Dickinson, and they're going to continue doing that.
Who do you think has to have the biggest impact on the Michigan Wolverines team if they're going to win today?
It would likely have to be Dickinson. I mean, the offense goes through him. You may not see it in the stat sheet. He may not have every single basket or rebound or assist. But if you look at Northwestern, what they're doing is they're double teaming Dickinson on every time he gets the ball. So it's going to be on him to make the decisions on whether to attack the double team because they're undersized or pass it out to Houston, Devontae Jones, Eli Brooks for 3. The Hunter Dickinson plays such a pivotal role. And it's going to be on the role players, though. The role players also have a role because they need to also hit the wide open shots.
Also gives a really good chance for Moussa Diabate to get involved. He's a player that, when he's on, he is on. So if Dickinson is getting double teamed, he's going to get some of those inside looks.
And how about Diabate? He came off the bench starting the season, has now worked his way into the starting lineup. He played really well early in the season, and it's great to see him finally establish his role on Michigan. A lot of the hype this season was surrounded around the freshmen. So to see Caleb Houston and Diabate in the starting lineup, I mean, it kind of shows what Juwan Howard is building, and hopefully other recruits can see this, that if you're a freshman, you're gonna get the opportunity to play.
You got it. We're coming out of our media timeout because I do believe this game is being broadcast on the Big Ten Network, and I'm not going to make this me complaining, but if there's nothing I dislike more than a sports fan and announcer, it is a media timeout. I never know what to talk about. So we'll see what interesting conversation topics I can provide in this first half.
Always makes it awkward.
They'll get it into Brooks. Hand it off to Houston up at the top. Out to Diabate on the right side. Dickinson has it, working on Young, who is subbed in for Nance. Put an easy 2 up over him. Pulling Michigan ahead, 9-7.
Northwestern experimenting with the zone there. They ended up with a one-on-one with Dickinson, and they have to live with that shot if they're going to play the zone.
Yeah, especially on Young coming in, who is not Nance.
No.
Young has it, trying to work on Dickinson, and he's giving him no room. But he'll manage to juke him out a little bit and put up 2. Back to knotted at 9. Jones is controlling it. They'll kind of ring it around for a bit. Jones drives it in, pass outside to Houston. He'll think about it, but get it into Dickinson instead. Who'll put 2 up again over. No good. Rebounded by Houston, knocked out of Houston's hand, and there's a foul on from Young.
And notice how this offense now changes with the zone. Now they're going to go to Hunter Dickinson almost exclusively. And Dickinson in the beginning was looking to pass because they were double teaming him, but now he's just looking to score.
Houston will shoot 2. First one, no good. Bounced off towards the front of the rim and out. Ty Berry will come in, taking the spot of Adi. Houston's second free throw is good, pulling the Wolverines ahead 10-9. Just over 5 minutes into this first half. Michigan experimenting with a press here. Bowie will break through though. They'll get a foul called on Diabate.
And if you're Michigan, watch out for Bowie for Northwestern. He was their leading scorer against the game in the game against Purdue that they lost, and he's not afraid. He's a shifty guard. He can move around quite well, and he's not afraid to pull the trigger from deep.
Bowie being guarded by Brooks. They'll send Barron up for screen. No good. In for Young. Misses him. They're going to call a foul.
And Northwestern got kind of bailed there, the pass.
Eli Brooks. Yeah, it looks like there was maybe a miscommunication. Just pass didn't quite hit Barron.
Luckily for them, though, they get the foul and can reset up the offense.
Simmons is checking in for Northwestern. Bowie will inbound it all the way to the top to Young. Young will hand it off to Barry. They'll try and set that pick again. Young has it at the top. They'll try and give it in to Bowie. But Devontae Jones is able to knock it out of bounds. It'll maintain the Wildcats ball, though.
Look how quick Jones is moving around the floor. I mean, he had to cover quite a bit of ground to get that deflection.
Young has it. He'll hand it off to Bowie. Bowie will drive it all the way himself in for 2. Bounces off the back of the rim. No good. Knocked into Diabate's hands. He'll hand it off to Brooks, who will take it up on the right side. Dickinson has it up top. Give it into Diabate. He's got Young on him. He'll drive right past him. Put it up for 2.
Diabate has a physical advantage there. Just took advantage of it, played bully ball, and got what he wanted at the rim.
Simmons gave it off to Barry, who gave it off to Bowie, which will not be confusing for me. Young has it at the top. He thinks about the 3 maybe, but does not take it. Bowie does, though, and it's no good. Will circle around the rim and out. Barron went all the way up over Musa Diabate to try and get that rebound, but it didn't matter because Diabate got it anyway. Handed it off to Jones, who's got Barron on him. And out to Houston on the outside, played heavily by Simmons. Diabate's got it now. Will take the mid-range 2. No good. Rebounded by Young. Hands it off to Bowie to take it up. They are really dead set on getting that pick by Young to work.
Bowie with some fancy dribbling there.
Young has on the inside, working on Diabate. No good. Will bounce out of the rim, but they're going to call a foul on Musa Diabate, which is his second foul here, not even 10 minutes into the first half.
Yeah. Michigan's going to bring in Brandon Johns to get Diabate, who's in foul trouble now. Probably want to save him for probably the end of the first half, and they're going to need him in the second half for sure.
Ryan Young will shoot 2. Can hear a lot of noise from the Maze Rage, but it doesn't matter because he's going to make it anyway. 12-10 is our score now. Brandon Johns Jr. is in for Musa Diabate, and Frankie Collins is in for Devontae Jones. Young's second free throw is good again, 12-11. Frankie Collins has it, being worked on by a man whose name is not on the stat sheet yet. Hunter Dickinson will put up 2.
Northwestern undersized here. I mean, Dickinson taking advantage again in the paint.
Three ball by Barry. Good. 14-14 is our score.
Great shot there by Barry. I mean, if he can get the isolation scoring, they're going to need that if they want to stay in the game.
Frankie Collins has it. He'll pass it around to Johns Jr. Dickinson has it at the very top of the three-point line. He'll almost hand it off to Collins. Nice little fake there into Houston, who's able to put up 2. That was a great look by Dickinson. He faked the pass, and no one knew where that was going.
Showing everyone he's not just a shooter. You know, he can take it to the rim. That's probably the next element of his game, too, as he wants to go to the NBA. That's something that he's probably going to need to work on in the future.
Young has it. He'll hand it off to Greer. Young will take the 3, and it's good. 17-16, Northwestern.
Northwestern just hanging in there. That's all you can do at this point.
Doing a good job of matching the Wolverines almost shot for shot here as Johns Jr. will take it. Back up to Dickinson at the top. He'll dribble around to the right side. Being worked on pretty heavily by 21, but they're going to call foul.
How about Dickinson? Starting from the three-point line, going all the way to the paint and drawing a foul. We want to see a little bit more of Dickinson outside from 3. He hasn't taken the 3 yet, but it's something that he's worked on this offseason and something that he's been showing people, especially in the Indiana game, in the last game. It's something that he's going to show his critics.
That foul was called on Elijah Williams. Once again, we are in a media timeout, which is my least favorite thing in the entire universe. So I am going to talk about the women's basketball team now, because I just called a game for the women's team on Monday. That was a 79-66 win over the Purdue Boilermakers. Michigan's women's team is ranked 7th in the nation. They are so fun to watch. Naz Hillman is so good at basketball, which is like not at all advanced analysis. It's just important to me that I mention it. Tomorrow they will take on the dreaded Ohio State Buckeyes, who are ranked number 22 at 7 p.m. before they'll come back home. That Buckeyes game is in Columbus. They'll head back home on Monday to take on number 6 Indiana.
Some big games for the women's team.
Oh yeah, Big Ten women's basketball is unreal this season. There are so many phenomenal teams. Obviously, I just mentioned 3 ranked teams right there. That doesn't even include Maryland, who is ranked, and then the really talented Iowa Hawkeyes women's team, who have one of the best players in college basketball, Caitlin Clark. That is my promo because I'm calling that game on February 6th. You should all listen to it. It's very important. So that's a little look at the Michigan women's team. They're doing very well. They just raced cars. I don't know what's going on.
But going back to the game, if you're Northwestern, you're hanging in with Michigan. You're up by 1 right now. You're shooting the ball quite well. If I'm Northwestern, I don't know if I want to keep going into the paint. I mean, it seems like Michigan's playing quite well. Diabate, very long, although he's in foul trouble. Brandon Johns there. They have some big guys. Northwestern's proven they can shoot the 3. You know, they're not known as a three-point shooting team, but I mean, if they can keep it up, I mean, that's key. That's a key element if they want to stay in this game, and they're doing their best right now.
Yeah, the Wolverines, they were, despite being down by just 1 point here, really nothing to worry about yet. Obviously, they could clean their game up just a little bit, but they're also just, you know, certain shots aren't falling the way they want them to, whereas Northwestern is making a lot of their 3s here.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, Michigan is playing quite well. They're not playing bad. Shots are going in. A couple shots they would have liked to gone in, didn't, but I mean, they're drawing fouls. Dickinson is being a beast in the paint. So if you're Michigan, the plan is simple. Run it through Dickinson as long as he can stay in the game, not get in foul trouble, and take advantage of this undersized Northwestern team, because that's been their bread and butter so far.
I'm very sorry. I will admit I got distracted by the in-arena entertainment. But we have basketball again. Brooks has it at the top. Into Houston, into Dickinson. He'll work on Williams, kind of spin around him, put up 2, and it's good. Again, like you've mentioned so far, just bullying the guy.
I mean, it's tough for Northwestern. You don't know, because if you double, then he can pass out. So they're going to have to figure it out as we head down the wire.
Greer will hand it into Nance, who is back in this game. Looking for number 14, but he wasn't ready for it. That's Simmons.
It's an overall messy possession for Northwestern. They got kind of lucky that the first pass wasn't a turnover, and then they got a turnover by a travel.
It would have been very easy for a Wolverine to take that and just run with it. Johns Jr. inbound it to Collins. Brooks has it, got 2 guys on him, handed out to Williams. Johns Jr. has it. Ooh, spin move on Nance. Oh! Spun one way, spun the other way, and put it up for 2, 2017.
These Wolverines aren't lacking confidence at all going to the rim. Brandon Johns putting the spin cycle on Northwestern.
Williams has it, hands it off to Barry. And they're going to call that a foul on Collins as Williams checks out for Barron. Going to make a very dumb history joke, but I'm going to save that. So inbounded to Bowie, hand it around to Adi, into Nance, wide open. He'll lay up the easy 2.
Risky pass almost got stolen, but I mean worked out for Northwestern. Overall, great play design.
2019 is our score. Collins will kind of slow it down a little bit at the top. Dickinson will try and set a screen into Johns Jr., makes Barron miss, makes Nance miss, tries to put it up, no good, knocked out into the hands of Barry. We'll hand it off to Bowie. Will take it in himself, pass it all the way out to Barry at the top of the 3-point line, no good, bounce off the back of the rim, rebounded by Johns Jr., passed over to Collins, will take it up. They're going to I'm not sure what happened.
But that last Michigan possession, that was the first time I think Northwestern did a solid job of getting their hands up and getting multiple guys there to stop Brandon Johns. So their first, honestly, defensive rebound in the paint. They can keep doing that, or they're going to have to keep doing that if they want to stay in the game.
I agree. While we were discussing, Brooks came out for Devontae Jones, where they're going to call a foul on Dickinson, and he'll come out for Falls.
Dickinson getting a breather here, so it's going to be up to the reserves to keep the offense flowing.
Bowie working on Collins up top. Nance has it at the logo. Almost knocked out by Johns Jr., but Nance is able to recover it, and they're going to call another foul on Collins, who was not involved in that play, but I think Bowie tried to come around and Collins knocked into him. So
yeah, it's just as a defender, it's a tough screen to go through. You want to try to get as narrow and as skinny as possible, but they couldn't avoid it there.
They'll take Collins out for number 2, Kobe Buffkin. Into Adiz. Hands it out to Barron. Knocked away. Jones has it, taking it up. He'll give it into Buffkin. Will put up the 2. Almost doesn't go in, but rolls back into the net. For Buffkin's 2 points in the first 2 points in this game, making an immediate impact since checking in.
How about the freshman making an impact on both sides of the floor?
Bowie will try and dribble around the entire Wolverines team. Try to give it into Nance. He has Buffkin on him. Buffkin did not have a size advantage there, but manages to stow him off. But then there's confusion by who's getting that rebound, and it'll actually come back and be the Wildcats' ball.
That's got to drive Coach Juwan Howard crazy. You have a rebound right there, miscommunication, and you give Northwestern the ball back.
Definitely not the way they wanted that play to go after a really nice defensive play by Buffkin. But now Young has it. He'll drive in, hand it off to Bowie, who will try and do a really nice pass in for Young, but it bounces out of his hands. It'll be a Wolverines ball. as Johns Jr. is going to hand it off to Jones. Barry will come out for Roper the second.
These last couple of possessions for Northwestern have been kind of rough, making forced errors on them.
22-19 is our score here. Jones will dribble all the way around to the left side of the near basket, hand it into Johns Jr., working on Nance, looking for a different option, or he's going to turn, take it himself, put two up, but not even going to hit the net on that one. Be recovered by Bowie.
If I'm Johns, I'm trying to get better position. I feel like that was a tough hook shot. He could have gone deeper, but just going in the post a little bit more.
Young will put the moves on Faulds, but they're not going to count it. And the Wildcats bench is upset about it, to say the least, as we are going to take another media timeout. Yay! Northwestern has moved into the bonus as Michigan. The Wolverines have 7 fouls compared to Northwestern's 2. 22-19 is our score. If you're just joining us, we are in my least favorite part of anything, which is a media timeout. And they're going to make people shoot baskets now who aren't very good at it.
This stretch is going to be pivotal for Michigan. Dickinson is on the bench right now. Northwestern clearly sees that, and they've been attacking. They've been trying to attack the paint on every single possession so far, ever since Dickinson went out. And it hasn't worked as well as they would have liked. They have a lot of mental errors, a lot of turnovers, getting a little sloppy. So if you're Northwestern, I mean, the three-point shot was working. Hopefully they can continue to get wide open shots. And if you're Michigan, you just got to keep playing. You got to keep playing. You got to take advantage of the mismatches in the paint. I mean, Brandon Johns, he's strong enough. He's capable of getting down low. We saw it. We saw in some previous possessions. So if I'm Michigan, I'm just attacking the paint because Northwestern seems to not show much answer.
Another thing that maybe the Wolverines could work on is they were they had some pretty good three-point shots, and then they've just stopped. They haven't even looked for the three-point option really so far, instead working on kind of working it inside and trying to get to Dickinson. Do you think that they should try and go back to that?
I think, yeah. I mean, it seems like this game has just turned into let's try to get in the paint for both teams. So if I'm Michigan, I mean, you have shooters. You have Eli Brooks, Devontae Jones. All these players can shoot the ball. So I think definitely it's something they should look for. Even Dickinson himself, he's shown he can shoot three. So, yeah, the three-point shot is kind of what I think Michigan can separate themselves from Northwestern. Because like we mentioned before, Northwestern statistically not one of the best shooting teams in the Big Ten. So, I mean, if I'm Michigan, you can try to get more open shots. And then that'll help them win the game.
If you're the Wildcats, what are you doing coming out of this timeout?
If I'm the Wildcat, if I'm the coach there, I'm telling them keep up the intensity on defense. You're doing really well. This has been a theme of Northwestern basketball this season. They've kept games close. They've just been unable to finish. So this seems like nothing different. It seems like they're poised to make this a close game. So keep the intensity up on the defensive end. If you have to bring 2 or 3 guys when Michigan is in the paint, do it because Michigan is not really looking to pass it out at this moment. And if I'm on the offense, if the paint isn't open, you don't necessarily need to go and attack it, even though Hunter Dickinson isn't playing. I mean, the three-point shot's open. You may not be the best shooting team, but a wide open look is better than a contested too. So just overall smartness. And Michigan now in the bonus, or Northwestern, sorry, now in the bonus. So I'm attacking them and trying to draw as many fouls as possible.
Absolutely. Wolverines need to stay out of foul trouble as, once again, we got 8 minutes remaining here in this first half. We've got another 20 to go. Young will make his first free throw as we come out of the media timeout. 22-20. Young's second free throw, no good, bounces off the back of the rim, recovered by Buffkin. Look for something to exploit while Northwestern is setting up, but there's nothing there, so he'll hand it off to Jones right around midcourt. Try and work around Bowie, drive it all the way in himself out for Buffkin. He'll give it to Johns Jr. at the top. The three-point line, Buffkin has it again. They'll switch spots. 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot, 1 to shoot, and they can't get a shot up.
You can see, I mean, Northwestern's closing the perimeter quite well. Michigan can't get open looks from 3.
That was easily their best defensive possession this game.
For sure.
Young working on Faulds. Handed off to Bowie, who will drive in. Handed over to Young. Dances around Faulds, but not well enough because he traveled.
It's like Dickinson got a short stay in the bench. Juwan Howard's having none of it, bringing him back into the game.
Faulds and Johns Jr. have checked out of this game for Dickinson and Williams, the second. And Brooks was tripped by Bowie, but both players took a hard fall, and Bowie looks kind of, no, he's tying. I thought he was hurt. He's tying his shoe. It took him a second to get up, so I'm like, oh, no, he just had to tie his shoe.
It was a hard hit, so.
No, both players kind of took a tumble there. Brooks will inbound it to Jones across half court. Hand around to Houston on the outside. Hopefully he can maybe start shooting some threes again, or at least getting those looks. And they're going to call a charge on Hunter Dickinson.
That's Dickinson's second foul in a similar way too. It was the screen. I think it was an illegal screen, and that's twice now. So, I mean, if you're Michigan, you got to watch out. You got to watch out for the foul trouble for Dickinson.
Bowie round to the left side, in for Nance. Pass it out to Roper the second. Will take it all the way in. Can't get it up though, and it's going to be Wolverine ball out of bounds off Young.
It was a great challenge there by Dickinson. The guard thought he had a wide open lane. He was able to beat him, but Dickinson with a nice recovery to block the shot.
Our score is still 22-20. Jones will. There's a bit of confusion there, and they're going to.
A blocking foul.
Yeah. Foul on Bowie. After the whistle, Brooks put the 3 up, so at least they got that.
Michigan dodged a disaster there because it was Dickinson again involved with the collision. If it was a charge, that would have been his third. So fortunate they didn't get that third foul.
6:31 remaining in the first half. 22-20 is our score. Into Jones, who will put it up on Roper the second, who is not pleased about it. Left his arms in the air for a couple seconds after, try and make his point clear, but it doesn't matter. And Jones will shoot 2.
I mean, he went straight up with his hands. I think maybe Jones was able to take advantage of the angle he was going at to make it look like he was going into him to draw the foul.
Jones's first is good. 23-20. As Roper the second will come out for Barry. Jones's second is also good. 24-20. Just under 6.5 to go in the first half. Greer has it at the logo for the Wildcats. They'll pass it around from Barry to Nance to Greer. Back out on the right side of the three-point line to Barry. He's got Jones on him. He'll get it into Young. Up for Adiz. Around to Nance. Nance has nowhere to go with it, and it's a miscommunication there as Houston will try and take it up the court. Nance knocks it out of his hands. Now it'll be a foul on Nance, preventing the fast break for Houston.
Northwestern really struggling to get anything going on offense. That possession had nothing going. They tried to do a final cut to the basket. Ball got deflected, and they're getting kind of lucky right now because they're drawing Michigan to the line, but they can't keep doing that if they want to stay in the game.
In a pretty short amount of time, Northwestern has found themselves from 2 fouls to in the bonus, as Houston's first free throw was good. and he'll take his second. No good. In and out of the rim. Our score is 25-20. Greer has it around to Adiz. Back up to Nance. Barry has it at the top of the three-point line. He'll hand it into Young. Young will hand it back off to Greer, who has Williams the second on him. Try and dribble around him. Try and draw a foul on Williams the second.
Defense there by Terrence Williams.
Nance three-point. No good. Bounces off the side of the rim and out. Rebounded by Dickinson, who will hand it off to Jones to take it up. Trying to set something up here. Attempted screen on Adiz for Jones. Doesn't work. He'll pass it around to Houston. Looks up. Brooks looks for the three-point. Doesn't take it. Into Dickinson. He's got Young on him. He'll try and drive inside. Float two up. No good. Almost recovered by Brooks, but Young has it, and he'll pass it off to Greer.
Just had him with a nice hook shot. That would have been a Kareem-like.
Greer gives it into Nance. Nance will put it up for two. Sinks it. 25-22.
And that's Nance's game. I mean, he's Northwestern's leading scorer, getting points closer to the basket where it's uncontested. That mid-range jumper is one of his favorites.
Nance with 6 points for the Wildcats. Out to Brooks. Brooks' three is good. 28-22.
As we're talking about, finally a three-pointer goes down for the Wolverines. Nice shot there by Eli Brooks.
Greer will pass it around. Makes its way into Adiz's hands. He'll give it back to Greer. Into Young, working on Dickinson. Dickinson almost with a good block, but Young manages to get it under the basket and in for two. 28-24.
What a finish there by Young. I mean, it looked like Dickinson had him and he went underneath him somehow.
Jones trying to get something available. Williams, the second, will put it up. Bounced off the back of the rim. No good. Knocked out into the hands of Nance, who does a quick pass off to Greer. Now they'll slow things down, let their offense get set up. Greer will look outside for Young. Back to Greer. Back into Young. Working on Williams the second. They're going to call foul on Williams for that one.
Northwestern trying to get the switch. So they got the switch with Dickinson guarding the point guard from Northwestern, and then they were able to get Terrence Williams in kind of a bad position and draw the foul. And they're in the bonus, so if, in this case, I mean, if you're Northwestern, you just got to keep trying to draw as much contact as possible and get to the line.
What has worked well for the Wolverines so far in this first half, especially after that first timeout that was called, or the most recent, not this one, after the second timeout?
I think for Michigan, I mean, their defense has just been, on most of the possessions so far, has been phenomenal. They've moved really well laterally, moving all around the paint, and then when Northwestern does attack the paint, hands up and forcing really contested shots. I mean, Michigan's been kind of able to get a little bit of separation through their defense. And on offense, I mean, it's been a little bit of a struggle as of recently, but I mean, we saw the shot made by Eli Brooks there. They haven't been the best at the line, so maybe that's something that they want to work on in the second half. But overall, I mean, Eli Brooks with a nice shot, Caleb Houston attacking the rim. I mean, it's clear the paint is open. So I mean, if you're Michigan, it's about attacking and then smartly making the decision to pass it out to shooters. It was really good to see Brooks hit the three. I think that'll do numbers for his confidence. He's been kind of quiet this game, so hopefully we'll see more from him. But yeah, if you're Michigan, you just got to keep up the intensity on the defense, and the points should follow.
Absolutely. Northwestern's been playing a pretty commendable game. One thing that's kind of plagued them so far is they'll have just some really poorly timed miscommunication.
Yeah.
What do you think's causing that?
I think it could be a lot of things. First of all, the crowd, the Mace Rage, always bringing the energy and may force their opponents to overthink what they're doing. But I think a lot of it is just miscommunications on their end. I feel like many of the mistakes they're making are kind of unforced errors that, whether, I don't know if it's like a miscommunication, maybe they didn't know the play. I think Michigan is wreaking havoc, but Northwestern's kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They've been making passes that they shouldn't have, and then when the shot clock is running down at 6, they try to do a last-minute cut to the basket, and usually it's a turnover. So for Northwestern, like, getting shots maybe earlier in the shot clock. It seems like they're a little bit more content with letting the shot clock run down to low, and that's fine if they want to waste time so Michigan doesn't get a chance to score, but at the same time it's resulting in poor shot selection. So yeah, I think Northwestern, they just got to be a little bit more locked in on offense. I think they're capable of scoring, keeping up with Michigan. They just can't afford to shoot themselves in the foot.
Northwestern's defense has also shown some really, really good possessions. There was that one where it ended with Jones trying to fumble up a shot with about 2 seconds left, with all 5 Northwestern defenders right there to stop him. How can they get that more consistent?
I think if you're Northwestern, I think they've sort of figured out how to guard Dickinson and the Michigan Wolverines. I mean, the shots that Michigan's taking, most of them are contested. They're not getting the open looks that they were getting in the beginning of the game. So from Northwestern, I'm keeping them moving. I'm keeping an eye on Dickinson, sometimes sending a second man. I mean, Michigan doesn't have all shooters out on the floor. So Terrence Williams, for example, not the best three-point shooter. So perhaps his man can come, double Dickinson. There's a lot of Northwestern can exploit a lot of the flaws in Michigan's offense with some of their non-shooters.
I absolutely agree, and Young will put up his first and only free throw because it was no good.
You got to make that if you're Northwestern.
28-24 is our score if you're just joining us. The Wolverines are taking on the Wildcats of Northwestern. Just over 3 minutes remaining here in this first half. Johns Jr. almost puts up 2, but bounced out of the rim. He was fouled, though, by Young.
Almost a mix between like a hook shot and a hook shot and a dunk in a sense. Kind of interesting shot there by Brandon Johns, but I mean, he'll take it. He gets to go to the line.
His first free throw is good. 29-24. Nance will come in for Young. As Johns sets up for his second free throw. And it is no good. Bounces off the back of the rim and into the hands of Barron.
Last season, Michigan's weakness was free throws, and it's proved this season to be as well. So, I mean, those free throws, they may not look like much as just one miss, but, I mean, they can add up over the course of the game.
Absolutely. Audiz hands it out to Greer. Greer will try and drive in on Brooks. Put up 2 from the right corner of the free throw line, but it's no good. Recovered by the Wolverines. Jones has it up top, out to Johns Jr., who looked like he was going to give it back to Jones, but it'll get knocked out of his hands and taken up by Audiz to Greer, who may have traveled, kind of stumbled a little bit there. So he tried to get it out of his hands, and it ends up in Barry's hands. Into Nance. Almost knocked out of his hands. But he'll put up 2. No good. Recovered by Eli Brooks.
That was a great recovery there by Michigan. I mean, Northwestern had a 3-on-2. They had a mismatch, but Michigan recovered well and then defended phenomenally.
Williams has it into Brooks. Brooks will dribble from the free throw line. No good. Recovered by Robbie Barron. And since, I don't know, I want to make my history joke. His name is like Robber Barons. Like, remember that? I don't know. I hope someone appreciated that. If not, I'm really sorry. Northwestern's attempt to get something set up will result in a foul on Devontae Jones, putting Northwestern into the double bonus.
Almost a sigh of relief for Northwestern. I mean, the one-on-ones were killing them.
It'll be Nance, and his first is good. 29-25 is our score. Pretty low-scoring affair here in the first half.
Yeah, both teams kind of struggling to get really anything going on the offensive end. It's been kind of a defensive struggle, or maybe an offensive struggle if you look at it that way, because shots just aren't falling.
Maybe a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
His second free throw is good, though. 29-26 is our score. Jones to Brooks. Brooks will pass through the legs. Around to Jones. Johns Jr. will come up to set a screen, but it doesn't really work out. But Jones will take it anyway and put the 2 up.
What
Working
a move.
through like 3 defenders there.
He's able to split the defense. Great move by Jones to get to the lane. And
31-26, 3-pointer for Young is good. I thought that was Young. I was wrong. It was Barron.
It looks like on that last play, a Michigan player was tying his shoe, and it only took 1 or 2 seconds, but I mean, led to a wide open Northwestern 3. So
31-29 with 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining. Coming into the game for Johns Jr., was having shoe problems, is Jace Howard with a very cool mask.
Michigan going with a full Young lineup, with the exception of Eli Brooks. All these players are new.
Jones will toss it across the court for Brooks. Hand it back to Jones. He has Adi and Barry pretty close. Try and split the court, but they close in on him. Hand it out to Houston. They're going to call a foul on Barron. Houston will shoot.
And with no big men on the floor for Michigan, Northwestern going into a zone, looks like they're more comfortable now doing the zone because they don't have to worry about Dickinson or Johns being in the paint to attack them.
Still in the single bonus for the Wolverines, so needs to make this first one here. Just under a minute remaining in this first half. First one is good, pushing the Wolverines score to 32 points. Northwestern with 29. Second free throw is also good, 33-29. Greer will take it up, has Jones working on him. To a D. Hand it up top to Barron, out to Barry. Barry will try and drive through, but Williams is there to pick him up. Into Nance, guarded by Howard. He'll put up the 2. Bounce off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Brooks.
That's just not what you want for Northwestern. You have kind of a mismatch there with Nance. Would have liked to see him just attack the paint there.
Would be huge for Northwestern if they went into this game not down, and there'll be a really good block by Adij, but they are going to call a foul, which means Houston will return to the line for the double bonus this time. 23 seconds left.
Caleb Houston there with a nice cut, an athletic cut. He's showing off his athleticism a little bit. That was really fast, and he was going to go up for a big finish.
Houston's first free throw is no good.
Check into the Wildcats 0.
For Houston, he's got to be kicking himself. I think that's his 3rd missed free throw now, and he knows that his team needs him to make those.
Houston's second free throw is good. 34-29, making it a 2-possession lead for the Wolverines with just under 30 seconds remaining. And there'll be a timeout called by the Wildcats, which is their first timeout taken in this half. Looking to get one last, probably, offensive opportunity, unless they want to go really quick, try and stop the Wolverines and potentially tie the score up or get a lead before halftime.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Northwestern, they're probably discussing a play that can kind of give some stability to the offense. The last couple of possessions have been kind of all over the place. I mean, you have a lot of contested 2s that they're taking, and, you know, Michigan is not even playing with a big man, so you have to think Northwestern wants to attack inside with either smart cutting to get a wide open look or even just using Nance's big frame to, you know, get down in the post. So it'll be a pivotal possession. Hopefully Northwestern doesn't make any unforced errors that they've been kind of making this first half. And for Michigan, I mean, you can play lockdown defense, get to your locker room only up by 2 possessions, or Northwestern can kind of make it a game and hit a shot, make it 1-possession game.
Wolverines looking to not let the Wildcats score, go into halftime with a 5-point lead, potentially even more if they manage to get a steal. Bowie has it. He'll hand it around to Adij. Back to Barry. Back to Bowie. Try and come in, but Howard's guarding him pretty tight. He'll work around Howard, make a miss, put up 2. 34-31. Half, long shot at half there, no good. But the Wolverines will go into halftime with a 34-31 lead over the Northwestern Wildcats. Pretty low scoring affair here, as we've mentioned. Struggling on both sides of the ball just a little bit for both teams. What did you like from the Wolverines in that first half?
For the Wolverines, I thought their ability to attack the paint was just phenomenal throughout the entire game. Northwestern obviously isn't as big as Michigan. They have Brandon Johnson, Musa Diabate, who did get in foul trouble early, so we'll hope to see him in the second half. But Diabate and Hunter Dickinson, their ability to just force the ball down in the paint and finish was just kind of what gave Michigan an upper hand in this game. I mean, they were able to also use that to their advantage to get some open shots. And players like Caleb Houston getting more comfortable cutting. We saw him with a nice finish. And yeah, it's clear from both sides that the three-point shot, no team is really liking the three-point shot. It looks like both teams are attacking the paint. We saw it with Northwestern on the last possession. Great play by Bowie. I mean, he just attacked Jace Howard, pump fake, layup. So it's clear to me that the three-point shot may not be there as much. So sometimes when you're playing games, you're going to have to win games different ways. Michigan shot 11 for 17 against Indiana. Probably not going to reach that mark in this game, but if they can get it done by attacking the paint, I mean, who's to say that's the wrong way?
So if you're head coach Juwan Howard, what are you telling them in the locker room before that second half?
I'm telling them to lock in on defense because although Northwestern is only down 3, it's very clear that Michigan has the potential to really pull away from this team because Northwestern missed quite a few shots. And I think if you can just continue to have them miss shots, you can, again, pull away with getting out in transition. And on the offensive end, I'm telling them to be smarter when in the paint. I thought there were a couple times where they kind of forced some hook shots that weren't there. Hunter Dickinson had one far out. Brandon Johns missed a couple at the rim. And I think if you're in that position, it may be better to pass it out and see if you can get a better shot. But, I mean, I think Juwan Howard has to be happy. He knows that there's work to be done. And Northwestern is a gritty team. They may have a poor rate. They may be only 2-6 in conference, but they're a gritty team. They play teams tough. So, I mean, if you're Michigan, you just got to keep playing your game. Hopefully they can get more three-point shots, more three-point looks, not even shots. And, and then you do that, you're going to end up with a win.
Who is the most important player on the court for the Wolverines in the second half?
I think at first I said Hunter Dickinson. While I do think he's quite important, I'm gonna say Diabate. I think Diabate is kind of an X factor on this team. He got out early with foul troubles, stayed out the rest of the entire first half. So he's gonna come in. He has 3 fouls, so he can be someone that could definitely be down low and be a force. Like, he's a very physical, and Northwestern doesn't have the athleticism nor physicality to match that. So if I'm Michigan, I think I'm getting the ball to Diabate, and I'm just telling him to just attack Northwestern and just try to get a bunch of dunks and finishes. We saw Diabate take a jumper, and it didn't go in. That's a part of his game which I do think that he can get better at, but in the meantime right now, I think Diabate is a key player, especially not only on offense but on defense too. His ability to contest shots at the rim, which it's clear Northwestern wants to attack the paint. I think that's going to be pivotal for Michigan.
Great insight. Thank you so much for joining me for this first half. I've been Kendall Spencer. Joining me has been Vinayak Swaroop. Joining us for the second half will be Will Gregory and Abe Weiner. We'll be right back with the second half. Don't go anywhere. Thank you so much. Go Blue.
Welcome back. Should be good.
Do you know why this isn't?
I think we're good. All right. Welcome back to the Chrysler Center for the start of the second half. This is William Gregory. Joining me today is Abe Weiner. Michigan leading 34-31. We have about a minute left until the second half begins. Tonight has been typified by Caleb Houston continuing his hot shooting after the past two games against Maryland and Indiana. He's got 12 so far tonight, shooting 3 for 4, 1 for 2 from 3, and 5 for 8 from the line. Houston had problems shooting threes so far this season, shooting under 30% before that Maryland game. Last game against Indiana, he shot 5 for 7 tonight. Like I said, he's 1 for 2. For Northwestern, Ryan Young has 10 points. He's their leading scorer. Leading scorer for the season, Pete Nance, only has 8 points. And second leading scorer, Boo Buie, has only 2 points so far tonight. They'll look to keep him going. Abe, what do you see in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty even first half. I mean, it's about as even as you can get. Both teams shooting 50% from 3, about 70% from the line. Michigan doing a little bit better of getting to the line, obviously, like you said, with Caleb Houston. But from the first half, I saw a couple mental lapses from the Wolverines. A couple balls that were like a ball that was dropped on a rebound could have led them into the break. A shoe falling off from Brandon Johns that led to a wide open 3. Just little mental lapses that caused Michigan to only cling on to this 3-point lead. Although I did think they played a better first half than Northwestern.
Yeah, and we'll see if that keeps Johns in the doghouse. I know Juwan Howard was upset after that play. He held his face in his hands and subbed in his son, Jace Howard, for a little bit of that end of the first half. And Johns has not played well the past few games. Really the whole season he's kind of had a disappointing year. But here we go. Start of the second half. Caleb Houston inbounds the ball to Devontae Jones. Jones will take it up. Moving left side wing, back to Houston. Houston, top of the key to Hunter Dickinson, moving right. Handoff, Eli Brooks outside Devontae Jones. Buie picks him up. Dickinson now on the right block. Backing down Nance, out to Caleb Houston. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound Wildcats. It's Roper.
That's exactly the kind of look you want out of the first half. Great pass by Hunter. He's been great dishing it out when he gets double teamed to the post. Open shot for Houston. That's all you can ask for.
Boo Buie handles for the Wildcats. Devontae Jones picks him up. Makes a nice move. Buie inside, shot up. Diabate couldn't block it, and Boo Buie scores. He's got 4 points, equaling his first half total of 2. Northwestern pulls within 1, 34-33. Here's Eli Brooks working left. They'll call a kicked ball on number 31, Robbie Barron.
Yeah, on that last possession, Musa just a half step too late on the help. Tried to block it, couldn't. Just a fingertip away. No help for Devontae Jones on that drive. Good one by Boo Buie.
Devontae Jones driving inside. Euro step layup just off the right side. Rebound, Diabate back up, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. They'll call that foul on Robbie Barron.
Yeah, Musa gets the foul. A little bit frustrated with himself. He couldn't put that back in. He was stuffed a little bit by the rim. I don't think he realized how much under the basket he was, but can't get mad at 2 free throws, and we'll see how he does here.
That was a nice move by Jones. I was surprised he didn't score on that play, but nice job by Diabate. First free throw up and in for Musa Diabate. Makes it 35-33 Wolverines. Diabate, second free throw, rattles in. 36-33, first minute done in this second half. Here comes Boo Buie for the Wildcats. Screen set, Pete Nance. Back out to him, top of the three-point line. Here is Audige. Inside, layup good. Chase Audige for 2 makes it 36-35. Back down the court goes Devontae Jones. Top of the three-point line, mismatch against Nance. Inside, Musa Diabate with Audige on him. Back out, Jones. Left side, Eli Brooks for three, and it's good. Nice pass there by Devontae Jones. And it's stolen. Eli Brooks makes the steal, and he drives inside. Layup good. Hoop and the harm, and one Eli Brooks. What a series by number 55.
Wow, Eli Brooks drains the three, stays up, presses. Northwestern not expecting it. Gets the steal in the bucket. It's potential for 6 points in about, 2 seconds?
Pretty good by the senior. And he's already got a chance to surpass his first half total of only 3 points. Brooks at the line for one. Makes it a 7-point lead for Michigan, 42-35. Brooks checks up Bowie again in the full court press. Chrysler on their feet. Roper back outside. Bowie makes a nice pump fake, but Eli Brooks gets him with a knee, jumping over him. Foul called.
Yeah, Northwestern's pretty much been able to get whatever they want in the paint so far in this first half. 3 possessions, 2 layups, and then that foul right there. So Michigan's going to have to do a better job of helping in the paint.
It won't be a shooting foul even though we got him on the up fake. Northwestern to inbound. Inside Audige, left block. Works in on Jones, and he scores it. Nice move inside by Chase Audige.
It's about as good as you can defend that from Devontae Jones, just better offense there.
Jones loses the ball in between 2 defenders, but a foul is called. They'll call it on Ryan Young.
Devontae just trying to split the double team there. Loses the ball, but gets tripped up by one of the errant legs, and it's going to be Northwestern's already 3rd foul of the second half with only 2 minutes and 5 seconds gone.
And their leading scorer for tonight, Ryan Young, just picked up his 3rd. He gets subbed off for Elijah Williams. Loss for Northwestern. He'll probably have to sit for a couple minutes.
Yeah, Robbie Barron also has 3 fouls.
Outside, Caleb Houston, top of the three-point line. He drains it, and Michigan now coming out of halftime, guns a-blazing. Elijah Williams off to Audige. Now Roper. Roper to Bowie. Back out Audige. Devontae Jones can't keep up with him. Recovers. Audige looking for a pass off to Elijah Williams. The big man, nice move inside. Can't finish. Good defense there by Hunter Dickinson. And there Elijah Williams flattens Devontae Jones. They'll call a foul on Williams. And Devontae Jones is still down on the floor.
Northwestern again getting the ball down in the post, this time with the center Hunter Dickinson, who defended him pretty well, forcing Williams into the missed layup. First missed shot of the half for Northwestern.
Well, that was an interesting possession where Williams got that ball at the three-point line. He subbed in at center, got that ball all the way inside himself, but he just couldn't finish. And it's still an 8-point lead for the Wolverines.
A little bit more energy from the Maze Rage here in the second half so far.
Diabate inbounds Jones. Straight away left side up top. Eli Brooks for three, and it's good again. Eli Brooks with 9 points in less than 3 minutes to begin this second half.
It's about as good of a look as you can get off of a sideline out of bounds play. Devontae Jones coming up the screen, gets Eli on the little pick and pop. Eli Brooks nails the three. Michigan up 11 here, extending their lead already with 14 points here in less than 3 minutes played.
Nice run by Michigan. They have a 12-2 run over the last minute and 15 seconds. Northwestern has to call a 30-second timeout to mitigate the damage. And the band will try and keep the Maze Rage involved with the Blues Brothers song. Eli Brooks off to a hot start. Like we said, 9 points here in the last 3 minutes. Less than 3 minutes. He's 3 of 3 from three-point range and hit that and one layup in transition after the steal off the inbounds. He's put together a great second half.
And that's exactly what you want from your fifth-year senior, the professor Eli Brooks. I mean, Michigan in a little bit of a rut in the season, not necessarily in this game, but sometimes you need that senior leader to give you that spark and that energy for those young guys to show that this is what you need in a grueling Big Ten schedule. You need to come in on those Wednesday 6:30 starts against a mid-tier opponent in Northwestern, and you still got to bring the same energy as you would for a Saturday game against Michigan State.
Yeah, and it's surprising that energy isn't coming from Hunter Dickinson. He's only got 6 points, 3 of 5 from the field. He's had a couple dominant performances the last few games, but tonight he's been relatively bottled up by his standards, and that's surprising too with the 2 Northwestern big men in foul trouble so far.
Yeah, I mean, he probably does have a little bit to do with those big men being in foul trouble. Obviously, Hunter coming off of a fantastic performance against Indiana last time out. But sometimes when the shooters are open, you got to give them a shot. And Michigan is showing today they are 5 of 8 from 3, knocking down over 50% of their threes. So if he can kick it out and get some threes, it's better for Michigan in the long run.
And it's good Michigan is hitting these threes. It's been a weak point for them so far this year. They'll come back out of the timeout. Northwestern down 11. Really trying to stop the bleeding and have a chance here in the second half after keeping it very close in the first, like they've done to a lot of good teams all year. They had that win over Michigan State. They generally, under Chris Collins, have been a competitive team. Maybe not you wouldn't call them a good team, but they give consistent issues to teams in the Big Ten. And they'll have to manufacture some buckets here to get Michigan in trouble more than they have tonight. Bowie inbounds. Audige inside Pete Nance. Nice defense, Diabate. And they'll call a shooting foul on Moussa Diabate. It looked like he went straight up there, but they called the foul.
Yeah, I thought there was a foul. Or not a foul. I thought there was actually a travel. I thought shuffled his feet a little bit, but refs get to make the calls, and it's going to be 2 free throws for Pete Nance.
The most prominent Northwestern scorer this season, Pete Nance at the line for 2. He rims out on the first one, and that's his first missed free throw tonight. He averages 16.1 points per game. He's not a three-point shooter, but he shoots 50% on his inside shots. Excuse me, he is an outside shooter. He shoots 43% on 3 attempts per game from 3. Devontae Jones now. Top of the three-point line, Dickinson, handoff, Eli Brooks. He's hot for 3. That one off the front of the rim. A heat check there, I think, for Eli Brooks.
Yeah, I think it's a good shot in the flow of the offense, just getting the handoff. That's always going to be available for him. If you're Juwan, you want him taking that shot.
From the left corner, pass back to Nance. Elijah Williams now working on Dickinson again on that left wing. Audige has it. Pick set by Williams. Audige, nice crossover, step back three-pointer off the right side of the iron, but it's picked up there by Elijah Williams for the offensive board. Bowie now working, trying to get a screen from Nance. Pass back out to him. He's covered well by Diabate. Passes inside. Shot is good by Ty Berry, number 3 for Northwestern.
It's a fantastic pass there by Pete Nance. Just a little spin roll down, and Hunter wasn't able to block the shot.
Jones working to get inside. Passes off to Diabate. Now Jones gets it back. Right corner, Brooks drives inside. And they'll say that pass is a kicked ball. It'll stay with Michigan. Still up 8 points, 48-40, 15:32 remaining in the second half. We'll have a timeout on the floor.
Yeah, Chris Collins called the timeout to quell the Michigan run earlier, and I think it worked. Cut the lead a little bit, cut it to 8. A little 3-0 run there between the timeout by Northwestern and this under 16 media timeout. How do you like the pink here today?
It's cool. It's cool to see it outside of October.
Yeah, it
to
always
be
looks
honest.
nice. Always looks nice.
And the Maze Rage has definitely fulfilled their responsibility tonight. I mean, the whole thing's pink. These media timeouts are killer without commercials on the radio. But the passing for Northwestern has actually been there for Pete Nance, the big man. He leads them in assists with 3. Devontae Jones has 5 assists for the Wolverines to only 6 points for him. He had a nice night shooting against Indiana. I mean, the whole Wolverines team did, shooting 65% from 3 against the Hoosiers.
The trivia question tonight answered by it looks like about a 6 or 7-year-old, but got the right answer, gets the prize pack.
A head coach from the 1940s. Smart kid.
He knows his history.
Taylor North is also in attendance, the Little League World Series champions. They honored them at halftime. They were the first Little League World Series champions in the state of Michigan since 1959. And I'll give a quick shout out to my hometown, Grosse Pointe. Grosse Pointe Wood Shores went to the Little League World Series twice when I was a kid. And they have a couple of those kids on that team coming here to Michigan to play baseball in the next couple of years. So that'll be exciting for me to see some kids I grew up with play baseball here and hopefully call those games this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Were you a baseball player growing up?
I only played 1 year, but I'm a huge baseball fan. I played more football. I played 4 years of football. I was a center in high school. That was fun, though. We'll exit the media timeout here. Still 15:32 remaining in the second half. Michigan remains up 8 points. Out there for the Wolverines to start out. Houston, Brooks, Diabate, Jones, and Dickinson, the regular starters. For Northwestern, Boo Buie, Elijah Williams, Terry Roper, and Pete Nance. Inbounds, Devontae Jones under the Wolverine basket. Gets it off to Houston in the right side corner. Picked up by Chase Audige, and he'll pick up a foul after he was a little bit too aggressive on the face-up defense there.
Yeah, he was face guarding Caleb Houston. Just got him for a little reach in. It's Northwestern's 5th foul in less than 5 minutes here, so look for Michigan to attack the basket, try to get that foul caught up, and get into the bonus early here.
And the roles have flipped. Michigan got Northwestern into the bonus early in the first half, but now Northwestern committing, I'd say, too many fouls so far to start the second. Devontae Jones, top of the three-point line. Houston, left side wing, pass in Dickinson. Dickinson working on Williams, trying to back him down, can't get a shot. Jones will have to take it with the shot clock running down. Floater in the lane, good. Nice move by Devontae Jones.
Yeah, good aggressive play by Devontae Jones. Sometimes I wish he would do that without the shot clock running down. He's a great driver, has a really good ability to finish at the rim, as he showed there with a nice little floater.
Barry pass, Audige inside fouled. Shot almost goes in for the and one, but he'll just go to the line for 2. And we see Hunter Dickinson after that slow start to the first half. He's taken off his headband. He had a headband on for the whole first half. No longer has it. We'll see if that can give him a little bit more magic.
Was he wearing a headband for the last game, do you know?
I'm not actually sure.
I don't think he was, but maybe the reverse headband will do the trick, taking it off.
First free throw rims out for Chase Audige. We'll wait on the second. Michigan still up by 10, 50-40, inside 15 minutes. Second free throw for Audige is good. He's got 4 points now. 5 points off that free throw make. Jones, they'll call a charge on him, as Audige just got there in time, set his feet, and it'll be a turnover for the Wolverines.
Yeah, it's 2 fouls by Devontae Jones there. No, 5 seconds. So he picks up his third on the night. Should be fine with 2 remaining, but
they'll keep him in. We have seen Frankie Collins. I think he has some foul trouble too right now.
yeah, he picked up 2 in 4 minutes.
Yeah, we've seen Kobe Buffkin as well. And, of course, Eli Brooks can handle the point guard duties if need be. Here's Audige for Northwestern. Pass out. Ryan Young back in the game after his foul trouble. Boo Buie, three-pointer, and he hits it right in the face of Hunter Dickinson, makes it 50-44. Do not want Boo Buie heating up from 3 in this game. Jones running the offense for Michigan. Double screen set by Houston and Dickinson. Jones tries to get it inside to Dickinson, turns it over. Fast break opportunity for the Wildcats. Ty Berry, though, has to pull it back. Pass inside to Audige. He makes the layup. Not a great contest there by Michigan. And it goes in. Northwestern pulls within 4. And momentum has kind of shifted.
Yeah, 6-0 run for Northwestern over the last minute. Couple quick baskets with the free throw 3 and then layup there. Careless turnover by Devontae Jones in the offensive end.
Dribble handoff from Dickinson to Houston. Houston can't handle it. Passes outside Diabate now. Dickinson working on Ryan Young. He's got 3 fouls. Double team by Williams. Pass to Diabate cutting inside. And they call the offensive foul on Musa Diabate.
Yeah, it was a very savvy pass by Hunter getting out of the double team. A little like no-look bounce pass to a cutting Diabate, but he goes up out of control. And as long as he was outside of the restricted area, he was. And they called a charge.
And Musa Diabate, that's his 4th foul. Terrence Williams and Frankie Collins sub in for Michigan. Northwestern has it now. Audige handling, step back 3, and it just rattles out. Rebound by Michigan. Here comes Frankie Collins. Right side wing. Dribbles right to left, outside to Terrence Williams. Williams back to Collins, back to Williams. Corner, left side, Caleb Houston makes a nice move. Pass to Dickinson is turned over, though, to Ty Berry of the Wildcats.
It's the third straight turnover for the Wolverines right there. Empty possessions are not going to cut it.
Number 2, Ryan Greer, has subbed in for the Wildcats. Ryan Young has it now. Inside, right block against Dickinson. Pass outside to Ty Berry. Long 3, no good. Rebound Dickinson off to Eli Brooks. Brooks takes it. Screen set by Dickinson. Brooks trying to find somebody to pass to. Gets it off to Williams. Williams inside. Nice pass to Dickinson, who tries to go up for the dunk but is fouled. And he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, good job by Terrence. Get that pass inside to Hunter, who was sealing off. Number 15, Young there. Michigan, after this, the next foul will put them in the bonus. Northwestern also only needing 2 more fouls to get in the bonus. I have a feeling we're going to be in for a long second half here with quite a bit of free throws.
Dickinson, first free throw, no good. Wolverine lead stays at 4. Roper, the second, comes in for Northwestern. He's a local kid, went to St. Mary's High School in Detroit. Second free throw by Dickinson. Just gets in. Nearly missed the second one, but makes it. 51-46 Michigan. Ryan Greer will take it up for Northwestern. Frankie Collins on him, bats that ball away, but off his hands. It will stay with the Wildcats. We'll await the inbound on the side out. Julian Roper II will take it with Caleb Houston guarding the inbounds pass. Greer's got it at the logo, and Frankie Collins takes him up from there. Nice screen. Greer passes to the corner to Julian Roper, who snakes all the way in for 2. Nice move there by Julian Roper II.
Yeah, just gets around Frankie Collins. Pretty good defense. Contested him all the way until the rim, but just a better finish by Roper there.
Inside 12 minutes now. Michigan 51, Northwestern 48. Brooks on the left side. They'll call a offensive foul, look like on Dickinson.
I think it's going to be on Frankie Collins there.
Frankie Collins And now he's got 3 fouls as
Yeah, Michigan in a little bit of guard foul trouble here with Jones and Collins both with 3 fouls. Diabate also with 4. So Michigan's going to have to rely on their bench a little bit and rely on some defense without fouling, which they've proven incapable of doing.
Interesting last couple minutes for Michigan. They're 5 of 6 on their last field goals, but they have no field goals in the last 3 minutes and 22 seconds. 5 turnovers, though, in that time span. So they've been efficient on the shots they do take, but they just haven't been able to take any shots.
Yeah, 5 turnovers and no shots is 5 turnovers and no field goals is a recipe for blowing the lead, and they have done exactly that. They had a lead earlier in this half that has evaporated with them only up 3, which is their initial first half lead. So.
And Northwestern loves this style of basketball on defense. They're still shooting 53%, but in that win they had against number 10 Michigan State, Northwestern only shot 34%, but they forced 17 Michigan State turnovers. So that is a key for the Wildcats to be able to win this game, especially when Michigan is still shooting 57% from the field and 5 of 9 from 3.
Yeah, usually when teams are shooting like that, what I do is I go over to the extended box score. I see their free throw numbers, which Michigan has actually been pretty good with, getting to the line 17 times. But those 9 turnovers will kill you in a game like this.
T-shirt toss in the media timeout. And we've talked about the pink out a lot tonight. All the Michigan players are wearing pink Jordans tonight to commemorate this Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Pretty cool to see them wearing those pink kicks, some wearing pink socks.
I have one guy in mind when I think of pink shoes. Who do you think of?
Shoot, I can't think of it.
My mind goes straight to Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. He had some pink shoes. I believe it was for the Big Ten tournament when their plane crashed, and those were the only shoes he had. So he wore those and wore them for the rest of his tenure for the Wolverines. One of my favorite players. I have his jersey in my closet.
Rockman, a great three-point shooter. The Wolverines have been shooting wonderfully from three-point range so far tonight. Maybe these pink shoes, in conjunction with the winning streak so far, can get the Wolverines back on track, especially with their next game being in East Lansing on Saturday against the top 10 Michigan State Spartans, who actually just outside the top 10 after that loss to Northwestern and the most recent loss to Illinois.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game. Did you catch that one?
I couldn't watch the end, but I was watching the first half. I saw Michigan State down by a lot, and I had to get to bed for some homework. But they only lost by 1 in Champaign.
No Kofi either, so it's a very good win for Illinois.
Out of the timeout, Northwestern has it. Barry inside Ryan Young with Dickinson on him. Young trying to make some moves in the post, spins around, hook shot, no good. Rebound, Hunter Dickinson. Frankie Collins on the right side gets the ball. Greer, who's picked him up full court, chooses not to here. Pass off Eli Brooks from the center of the three-point line. Passes off Houston back to Collins. Collins inside left block. Dickinson face-up jumper, rims out. Nice rebound pulled down by Ty Berry.
Yeah, that's the next step in Hunter's game, is expanding his range a little, taking those mid-range shots when the opponent's hands are down, but unfortunately unable to convert this time down the court.
The methodical half-court offense by Northwestern continues. Ryan Young inside. They'll call a travel on him. He couldn't get his footing trying to get posted up against Hunter Dickinson. And Ryan Young, after 10 points in the first half, still has yet to score. And he's subbed out now for Robbie Barron, who had 3 fouls. And Pete Nance comes back in for Northwestern as well. 2
consecutive fantastic defensive possessions by Hunter, forcing the missed shot and then the travel back-to-back. So even though he hasn't really made his mark on the offensive end, he's contributing on defense.
Terrence Williams back in for the Wolverines. Nice pass, Dickinson inside. Brooks back out. Frankie Collins for 3. a little long, and the rebound goes to Pete Nance. Gets it off to Bowie. Bowie picked up by Frankie Collins. Screen set. Barron. Nice screen. Bowie looking for a pass off. Can't get anybody. Hunter Dickinson crowding him as he drives inside. He has to pull it all the way back out to the left side wing. Bowie sizing up Hunter. Nice crossover. Still can't get space. Into the corner. Greer. And that three is good. Nice contest there by the Wolverines, but it still goes in for Ryan Greer.
Yeah, Michigan still without a field goal since the 15:08 mark here in the second half. So that's, by my calculations, a little over 5 minutes. So Michigan's going to have to figure out the half court if they want to win this game.
Zero field goals in the last 5 minutes, 0 points in the last 2.5 minutes. That lone point was coming off a Hunter Dickinson free throw. We just saw Frankie Collins try to pass it to a wide-open Eli Brooks in the corner, but his pass was batted away. Collins has it again. Nice move inside. Layup good on the baseline. Frankie Collins, nice play. Takes the lead for Michigan, makes it 53-51, and breaks that field goal drought for the Wolverines. Maze Rage on their feet a little bit louder here in Chrysler Center. Bowie shakes Collins, three-pointer. Long shot for him is short. Rebounded Terrence Williams, who is not picked up. Drives inside, is fouled. No, sorry, travel on Terrence Williams there.
Yeah, that lane looked wide open. It looked like you could drive a truck through it, and in the snap of a finger, two Northwestern defenders were in there. Terrence panicked, shuffled the feet, and another turnover for Michigan.
He was a little slow on that drive, too, reluctant, kind of thinking, am I really this wide open? Pete Nance inside, spins off Dickinson, another spin. What a move by Nance, but he blows the finish. Rebound, Julian Roper.
Yeah, I think Terrence had at least a hand on the ball while his foot was out of bounds, saving Michigan from another basket there.
But that was a nice spin move by Nance to shake Dickinson. He just couldn't get the baby hook to go. Inbound here, Northwestern. Series of players going right under the basket. Northwestern foul on Robbie Barron. He's got 4 fouls. And Elijah Williams will sub back in for the Wildcats. Michigan enters the bonus now, up 53-51 with 9 minutes remaining. Frankie Collins brings it up. Pass off Eli Brooks left side, trying to get Hunter open. Pass back, Brooks, layup, no good, over the head, can't finish. Nice pass there by Dickinson, though. Pete Nance trying to bring it up himself, gets inside, and he's fouled. Northwestern asking for a goaltend, but it'll just be a shooting foul on Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah, Pete Nance picking up that ball in Northwestern's half of the court, just running down the court like a madman, right into Hunter, who didn't really have any choice but to stand in there, stand his ground, and gets unlucky with the foul call.
Nance had a wild dribble. I was surprised he could control himself to not pick up an offensive foul. First free throw for him is good.
Yeah, I think it worked against Hunter that he's so big. If he was a little smaller, he would have fallen down. Might have gotten the charge there because Nance was a little bit out of control, but
second free throw good for Pete Nance. Ties the game at 53. Nance is a 78% free throw shooter on the year. Not a traditional big man. He can shoot it from anywhere and score a lot. Michigan now back with it. Frankie Collins, nice pass. Little jump hook for Hunter Dickinson on the left side block. He scores. That's his first field goal here in the second half. Under 8.5 left. Michigan up by 2. Bowie. Pass off to Julian Roper. Now Ryan Greer, right side wing. Back to Bowie, picked up by Caleb Houston. Screen set by Elijah Williams. Bowie. Pass to the corner to Roper. Back to Bowie. Greer left side, picked up by Collins. Shot clock running down. Greer has to force it up, and it's good. What a shot by Ryan Greer. Shot clock running down, hand in his face, and it's good.
Wow, what a bailout for Northwestern there. Yeah, I saw Greer with the ball. He caught the ball with about 2 seconds left on the shot clock. It didn't seem like he knew how much time was left, but he glanced up just at the right moment, quick release three after a little shimmy on the defender, and absolutely nails the three. Chrysler is not as loud as it was earlier, I'll say that.
Northwestern now in the lead. Michigan was up 50-40 at a point in this game. Now it's 55-56. Wildcats leading. Ryan Greer only scores 4 points a game, but he still is a 43% free throw shooter. He showcased why you should keep covering him on that play. He was covered well, though. And he had a three-pointer a couple minutes ago with another hand in his face by Eli Brooks, and he nailed that one from the right corner, excuse me. Then on the left side wing, Frankie Collins right in his face, drills that three. And those are his 6 points so far. Pete Nance has become the leading scorer for Northwestern tonight after Ryan Young had a 10-point first half. Nance now with 11. And Caleb Houston off to a slow start in the second half. After 12 in the first, he's only got 15 points, so he only has 3 points here in the second half.
A little tic-tac-toe going on the court right now. What do you go for in tic-tac-toe? Are you an X or an O guy?
I usually go X right in the middle. Hope somebody else makes a mistake. Oh, she messed it up!
A great save there.
What a recovery. So with the tic-tac-toe over with, we are still in this media timeout. And the dance team will come out now.
Eight minutes left. Stadium DJ trying to hype up the Maze Rage with a little Mr. Brightside. Michigan's going to need the crowd, which has been, if I'm going to be honest, largely non-existent for this game, to make their voices heard here.
Yeah, it's perked up a bit on some of the earlier runs in this second half, but ever since Northwestern has put their will on Michigan defensively, it's just been a struggle to get this crowd going, especially with Michigan looking so disjointed on offense. They've turned the ball over so many times in this second half. They missed some easy shots, and Northwestern's kind of played sloppy too. They've missed some easy layups. They've fouled Michigan 7 times so far in this second half, but now Michigan's caught up to them. We talked earlier about Northwestern getting into foul trouble. They're equal in the fouls they've given out so far with 7. A couple big men for both teams with 4 fouls. That'll certainly play a big factor in the remainder of this game. Players come back out to the court, 7:57. Wildcats 56, Wolverines 55.
Yeah, we were wondering if Brandon Johns was going to get some minutes in the second half after just a tough first half performance. He has not checked in yet on the bench with his warm-up shirt on.
Now, do you think that was more of him stopping with that shoe, or because he threw his shoe back onto the sideline towards Juwan?
Yeah, I think he did. He had the chance to put the shoe back on, and instead of putting the shoe back on, he took it off and kind of tossed it over in the general direction of Juwan. So I'm sure he was not happy about that. I'm sure someone will ask him about it post-game, and I'm sure he'll say no problem, but we'll see how many minutes he gets going on.
Michigan starts the second half with the ball. They had a pass knocked out of bounds. It still stays with them. Frankie Collins trying to get that entry pass inside to Hunter. He does. Elijah Williams on him on the left block. Nice defense by Williams. Forces an awkward shot by Dickinson, and he misses it. Tough rebound by Pete Nance, and Hunter Dickinson in the battle for the ball fouls Nance. That'll be his 4th foul. And the front court trouble continues for the Wolverines. They'll have to sub in Moussa Diabate, who also has 4 fouls. That's just necessary with Pete Nance playing so well in the front court. You need a big body in there to guard him. And we'll see if Brandon Johns will come back into the game with this front court foul trouble. Nance at the line for the 1-and-1. After being fouled, he nails the first one. Puts Northwestern up 2. Nance up to 12 points now. Shooting 6 of 7 from the line, only 3 of 9 from the field. but he shot it well from the charity stripe. Nance, second free throw in. 58-55 Northwestern. Now Eli Brooks is the lead guard, takes the inbounds from Terrence Williams. Pass off left to Williams. Diabate now at the top of the three-point line. Brooks working off some screens and is fouled there by Chase Audige. That's his fourth foul.
Yeah, a little ticky-tack off the ball foul there. It's going to get a couple free throws for Eli Brooks. The refs are going to officiate the rest of this game like that. Be a lot of free throws.
I mean, I'm used to seeing Big Ten basketball where the whistles are swallowed a little bit more than this right now. At least it's even. Both teams have 8 fouls. It's not skewed one way. But I think the whistles have been a little bit extreme so far tonight.
Yeah. 4 fouls on both of Michigan's big men, Hunter and Musa. So
Brooks misses the front end of the 1-and-1, and Northwestern rebounds, and a foul will be called on Caleb Houston. At least it's him and not one of the Wolverines in foul trouble. That's only Houston's first foul of the game, but it will send Elijah Williams to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 of his own.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here if Musa or Terrence ends up getting another foul. We'll see if he is forced to go back to Brandon Johns.
And Elijah Williams doesn't get much play time this season, only in there for the foul trouble. He averages about 13 minutes a game. 43% free throw shooter. He misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Wolverines rebound. And Devontae Jones has it. Screen set Diabate. Jones looking. Pass back out to Caleb Houston at the top of the three-point line. Diabate left elbow. Trying to get inside on Pete Nance. Nance too strong. Back out Jones. Screen set. Shot clock running down. Houston passes back to Jones. Nobody shoots it. Shot clock violation. And that looked like a freshman mistake there by Caleb Houston.
Yeah, a lot of looking around. Looking a little bit confused there from Michigan. Caleb's got to understand if you get the ball with 3 seconds left on the clock, there's not enough time for a pass. The team trusts you to get a shot up in a one-on-one situation, and his pass back to Devontae Jones with about half a second left was always going to lead to a disastrous possession.
And Kobe Buffkin goes in for Caleb Houston. You have to think Juwan is frustrated with this second half offense after they started out really hot. Bowie inside for Northwestern, lays it up, and it's good. Nice spin on that one. Gets around Diabate, who hesitated to put up a good contest with his 4 fouls. Michigan now, Devontae Jones. Trying to get inside, can't get there. Pass to Terrence Williams, nearly mishandled out of bounds. And Williams trying to recover, steps out with his toe, and it'll be a turnover for Michigan. Northwestern up 5, 60-55 with 6:14 remaining. Side out for them.
A lot of frustration coming from Asadi Washington and Phil Martelli on the Michigan bench there.
Ryan Greer controlling for the Wildcats. Out to Nance. Nance, Bowie. They've run that dribble handoff a lot so far. Doesn't work here, but Roper inside, scoops it, can't score it. Nice move there by Julian Roper, though. Michigan rebounds. Devontae Jones, right side wing, inside Diabate. Picked up by Nance. Diabate working on the block. Nice footwork inside. Tough layup, misses it. Looked like it may have been tipped by Northwestern. They'll rebound and take it up slowly. Brooks picks up Bowie at half court. Bowie, slow dribble, looking for something. Picks up his dribble, has to pass it off. Ryan Young. Back to Bowie. Screen by Young. Bowie fakes the shot, pass out Nance. Shot clock running down inside Ryan Young. Nice pass. Back up, and Ryan Young scores it. Double teamed by 2 Wolverines, puts it in.
Juwan forced to call a timeout here with 5:03 left. Michigan down 62-55. No points in the last 3.5 minutes for the Wolverines.
And excuse me, that was Robbie Barron, not Ryan Young, with the bucket.
5 points in the last 10 minutes for the Michigan Wolverines here.
Really frustrating offense after that explosive start. Eli Brooks had 9 points in 3 minutes, but that's been most of their second half production.
Yeah, and especially coming off a game, a potential catalyst on the road against Indiana, to come here against at least a similar opponent, definitely not a better opponent in Northwestern, and to come out with this second half performance, I'm sure Jawan is unhappy with this.
You know, a lot of people were saying Michigan was back after those 2 victories against Maryland and Indiana, but I think caution has to be taken to say, is that really that Wolverine team those past 2 games, or is this the real Wolverine team that we're seeing tonight that we've seen for the majority of the season so far? More of a 500 team rather than somebody who can go into Assembly Hall and beat Indiana by 18, but instead a team that might struggle against a team like Northwestern. And this is not a great sign for that game against Michigan State this Saturday. What do you think? Is this the Michigan team that's for real, or is it the team that was on the 2-game win streak?
I mean, so far this season, this is the real Michigan team. I think the last couple of games have shown what Michigan can be when they are playing well, and it's unfortunate because the things that Michigan has struggled with, the 3-point shooting, has been okay tonight. I mean, they've only taken 9 3-pointers, but they've made 5 of them. So the turnovers have been killer. 12 turnovers so far, and
nice pass by Jones inside Brooks. Can't get a shot off outside to Bufkin on the right side corner. Brooks gets it back, pass inside Diabate, struggling to handle it, and he's fouled by Elijah Williams. Still 1-and-1s for both teams, so Diabate will have to make the front end, which free throws have also been a struggle so far tonight for the Wolverines, shooting 67%, 12 of 18 from free throw land so far today. Diabate, first free throw is good. He'll get a chance at the second. Michigan pulls within 6, 56-62, with 4:46 remaining in the second half. Second free throw, Diabate. Up and good. Both free throws looking good on those makes. And Michigan starting a full court press here. Brooks and Jones guarding the inbound. Diabate won't come and pick up Nance with his 4 fouls, though, and Nance will run the offense from the logo. Now off to Bowie. Double screen set by Nance and Williams. Bowie works to the left corner, hassled by Brooks, and he loses his dribble. Picks it back up, has to pass it away. Shot clock within 5. Whistle blows.
timeout.
And it's a timeout for Northwestern. I think that's a good place timeout there with 6 seconds left on the shot clock, with a big man having to handle the ball there.
Yeah, back to the basket. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. It's a savvy timeout from Chris Collins there. He'll be able to draw something up and probably get Northwestern a pretty good shot coming out of this timeout here.
It'll just be a 30-second timeout. No media timeout here. We'll be back pretty soon. 4:23 remaining in the second half. 62-57. Michigan losing. And they've worked back to try to avoid the reverse cover. Northwestern closed as an 8-point underdog in this game, which, you know, could be surprising in some ways given how Michigan has played outside the past 2 games, but with the momentum that they had rolling from the Maryland and the Indiana game, you might think that they could blow out a team like this Northwestern Wildcats team, but Northwestern's been scrappy all year so far. Not a great record, but they've played teams well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, pretty much any team in the Big Ten this year is going to put up at least a fight, especially with how Michigan's been playing. Michigan, who's been a pretty much perennial powerhouse these past couple years. These mid-level Big Ten teams smell weakness. They smell blood in the water. They want to come in here to Chrysler, where they've been dominated in the past couple years, and get a win for themselves. So Michigan's got a target on its back, the reigning regular season Big Ten champs, and they certainly are not playing up to it this season.
Yeah, and Northwestern's 9-8. Like I said, not a great record, but they split against Michigan State. In that game they lost. They still only lost by 6. They only lost by 8 to number 13 at the time, Ohio State. And they lost by 6 to number 8, Wisconsin. They were blown out in their last game against number 4, Purdue. But so far this season, whenever they've been matched up against a good team, they give them all they can fight for. Looks like this timeout has been extended to a media timeout. So just a little bit longer till we get back to the basketball. This second half seems a little bit longer with the foul trouble we've seen. Timeouts that have had to be called. But we're aiming for a great finish. Hopefully Michigan can battle back and start making some field goals. They have no field goals in the last 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Another storyline, the foul trouble. Hunter Dickinson with 4. Musa Diabate also with those 4 fouls. Good news for Northwestern is that their superstar Pete Nance only has 1 of those personal fouls. A lot of their fouls have been affecting the other members of their front court, Robbie Barron, Ryan Young, and one of their wing scorers, Chase Audish, has 4 fouls as well. So that'll be key down the stretch here. Both teams still in the single bonus. Trying to get the Maze Rage on their feet as we enter crunch time. Boo Buoy inbounds for Northwestern. Pete Nance on the left corner working against Diabate. Fadeaway shot, front of the rim, and no good. Rebound there by Dickinson. Falling, Devontae Jones picks the ball up. Eli Brooks now on the left wing. Pick set by Dickinson. Inside, picked up by Nance. Devontae Jones in the corner. It's good off the pass from Caleb Houston.
I love the no hesitation 3 there by Devontae Jones. Too many times this season he's looked at the basket, he's hesitated. That one in the corner, he was open, didn't hesitate, nothing but net.
Great ball movement there by the Wolverines, pulls them back within 2. Boo Buoy, Devontae Jones on him. Out to Ryan Greer now. Pete Nance trying to work on Diabate to foul him out, but Musa plays great defense and gets that ball out of bounds for a turnover. Possession goes to the Wolverines. Audige subs in now for the Wildcats. Second turnover by Nance so far tonight. And with 3:30 remaining, Michigan has a chance to tie it back up at 62. Brooks working on Greer. Inside left block to Dickinson. Pass to Diabate, who jams it home. 62-62. Wolverines tie it up. Buoy now. Brooks picks him up. Nance at the top of the three-point line. Back to the basket. Diabate picks him up even with the 4 fouls. Now Greer gets past Jones. Floater inside. Just misses it. Dickinson can't handle the rebound, but Diabate gets it back for the Wolverines. Michigan now slowing it. They've had a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes. Pass by Houston. They'll call it out of bounds on Michigan.
It's just a careless turnover right next to the Michigan bench.
And it looked like Devontae Jones was arguing that it went off the fingertips of the Northwestern defender, but the officials give the ball to the Wildcats with 2:44 remaining. Inbounding is Elijah Williams, who you would not expect to see out on the floor right now, but they've subbed out Pete Nance. Ryan Young in also for the Wildcats with 2:40 left. Young pass to Audige. Buoy, right side wing. Inside Young on the on the right block. And Ryan Young is fouled when posting up Hunter Dickinson, and that is Hunter Dickinson's 5th foul. He'll be done for the game.
Just trying to defend Ryan Young there, standing his ground, gets a little push, and the refs who have been blowing a pretty soft whistler tonight. I guess they're being consistent, but Hunter fouls out with the most important 2.5 minutes of the game still left to play.
And even worse, Ryan Young now with that foul goes to the line for the 1-and-1, still with 9 fouls. Young makes the first, and he'll have one more free throw as Northwestern takes the lead 63-62. Robbie Barron checks in for Elijah Williams, and Michigan going with a smaller lineup with Musa Diabate at center and Terrence Williams at the 4. Young's second free throw drains it, 64-62, Wildcats. Pete Nance back in for Young after the free throw with 2.5 minutes left. Devontae Jones off the inbounds from Terrence Williams. Dribble handoff, Eli Brooks, top of the three-point line, pump fake. Terrence Williams wide open, does not shoot. Dribbles it back out, can't find anyone to pass to. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Devontae Jones, screen set, Diabate. Open corner. Terrence Williams nails the three-pointer to take the lead for the Wolverines.
Yeah, had the chance to shoot the first one, passed it up, looked a little discouraged with himself, got a second chance, and he didn't miss.
Inside 2 minutes, Bowie working on Brooks. Screen set, Nance. Nance pull-up jumper, and he's fouled by Musa Diabate. That'll be Diabate's 5th foul.
Yeah, back-to-back possessions, back-to-back foul-outs by Hunter Dickinson, and now Musa Diabate. A foul on a jump shooter must have gotten him on the wrist.
And Diabate trying to go back to the huddle, acting like that wasn't his 5th foul, but he'll have to be subbed out for Jaron Folds.
I don't know if Jaron Folds expected to be playing crunch time minutes here tonight, but when duty calls.
Under 2 minutes, Michigan still up by 1. Pete Nance shooting free throws here. They still say it'll be a 1-and-1. Scoreboard didn't update. It is a double bonus free throw set. Or it was a shooting foul. My mistake. Got lost on all these 1-and-1s and non-shooting fouls. Forgot that was a shooting foul and a jump shot. So Pete Nance misses the first free throw. He'll have his second. Trying to tie it for the Wildcats. Free throw good for Nance. He stepped up from the line when it's mattered most. He's 8 for 10 from the line so far tonight. Eli Brooks has it. Back out, Terrence Young, left corner, inside Folds, back out right side, Houston, three-pointer, good! Caleb Houston buries a 3 from the right corner off the assist from Jaron Folds.
Fantastic pass from Jaron Folds. He got the pass in the post, didn't even think about it, passed it out, no hesitation from Houston, big 3.
90 seconds left, Audige to Bowie. Bowie inside Ryan Young, Folds on him. Working in the post is Young, hook shot, no good, rebound, Devontae Jones. 1:15 remaining. Wolverines basketball. They'll choose to run the offense. Juwan Howard screaming out direction, screaming at the referee. Chance throughout the Chrysler Center. Devontae Jones drives in, falls down. They will call a foul. Inside 1 minute with 58 seconds left. And it is the double bonus for the Wolverines. They'll have 2 free throws here for Devontae Jones. Jones shooting about 70% from the line so far this season. The Wolverines shooting 70% from the line so far today. To go up 2 possessions, Devontae Jones' first free throw here. It's good, and Michigan leading by 4, 69-65. Devontae Jones with 12 points so far tonight. He continues his hot shooting. Second free throw now for Jones. It's good. Michigan up by 5. Jaron Folds knocked down Ryan Young on the box out. No foul called. Here's Bowie. Three-pointer off balance, and it's good. What a shot by Bowie. 51.7 seconds remaining. Northwestern, 68 points now to 70 for Michigan. Devontae Jones slowly bringing it up for the Wolverines. They'll dribble out a portion of the shot clock. Now inside 40 seconds. 12 remaining on the shot clock. Jones just working in an isolation. Now gets a pick from Folds. Right side driving in. Jones, shot blocked, but they will call a foul on Northwestern.
Another aggressive play there by Devontae Jones. He's one of the elder players on the court right now, really taking the game into his own hands. Back-to-back possessions, getting free throws for the Wolverines.
And he's played a really solid game tonight. 13.6 assists, 2 rebounds. Only missed one shot. He missed one field goal. He's made a three-pointer, 4 of 4 from the line. He'll shoot 2 here. First free throw, good. Michigan up by 3. And in winning time, big players step up at the line. And with Jones being an under 70% free throw shooter, we'll see if he makes this 4th free throw in the last minute. It's good for Jones. Michigan back up by 4. They mitigate the damage from the Boo Buoy three-pointer. Inside 30 seconds now. Greer has it. Houston guarding him. Ryan Greer inside pass. Young. One dribble. Shot. No good, but a foul called on Jaron Folds. Ryan Young almost had that shot go in for the and one, but it'll be 2 free throws on Ryan Young. Young is a 71.6% free throw shooter. Plays 18 minutes a game. So it's a decently good sample size to predict the outcome of these 2 free throws to try and get Northwestern within 1 possession. 17.3 seconds remaining. Chrysler Center on their feet. First free throw for Young is up and good. And now with 17 seconds left still, 72-69, Michigan leads. Awaiting the second free throw for Young. Dribbles, shot, up, no good, rims out back, iron, but Northwestern corrals the rebound. Bowie's got it inside 15 seconds. Northwestern down 3, and a timeout by Chris Collins with 12.4 seconds.
Wow, we are set up for a grandstand finale here at the Chrysler Center. 12.4 left on the clock. The free throw, which clanked off the back iron, is retrieved off the tip by Northwestern. Chris Collins calls the timeout. I believe it's just a 30-second timeout, but a huge, huge offensive board for the Wildcats here. They're only their 4th offensive board of the night, but the most important one coming right here. And they'll have a chance to tie this one up with 12.4 left.
And with 12 seconds left, do you draw up a play for a 3-point shot, or do you try and get to the basket quickly and foul on the other end?
Both of those fascinating questions, but also, does Michigan choose to foul if
That's
the shot clock gets down? They don't have a foul to give, obviously, so they can't stop the possession. But if Northwestern does end up going for the 3, gets down to a couple seconds left, maybe Michigan does foul. It's all up to Juwan.
I think if anything, out of this timeout, it should be a quick shot, especially with the possibility of another offensive rebound. You want to preserve as much of this 12 seconds as you can. But those circus shot 3s have gone down for the Wildcats so far tonight. We've seen it from Ryan Greer. We've seen it from Boo Buoy. They're shooting 50% from 3 as Northwestern. Michigan shooting 8 for 12. That's obviously a small sample size, but both teams knocking down their 3s. We'll see if that plays a factor in what Northwestern chooses to do. Players coming back out of the huddle. Still 72-69. Michigan winning by 3, but Northwestern off a missed free throw from Ryan Young gets the offensive rebound, and they have it side out of bounds on the Michigan end. Bowie will inbound for the Wildcats. Pete Nance works off a screen. He's open in the corner, doesn't shoot. Time running out. And they'll call a foul on Terrence Williams. So they do choose to foul before the 3-point shot goes up. And Pete Nance will have 2 free throws to try and get it to a 1-point game.
These are Nance's 11th and 12th free throws of the night. So far, he's 8 for 10. Only 3 for 10 from the field, though.
First free throw rims out for Pete Nance. And that changes up the game plan for Northwestern a good bit. Only his third missed free throw of the night on 11 shots. Nance, Northwestern's leading scorer, has 14 tonight, averages 16. He'll shoot his second free throw, 72-69. Second free throw, no good. Jaron Folds tries to get the rebound, but he's fouled by Robbie Barron. And Jaron Folds will go to the line. And Robbie Barron on that play fouls out with 8.5 seconds remaining. Barron, a key contributor to the Wildcats starting lineup out of this game after we saw Hunter Dickinson and Musa Diabate also foul out for Michigan. But that was with 2.5 minutes left, and Michigan has managed, off the back of their shooting, to be leading this game with 8.5 seconds left.
Yeah, the closing lineup here of Eli Brooks, Devontae Jones, Jaron Folds, Terrence Williams, and Jace Howard. Not your typical closing five, but Juwan's made it work tonight, and some very integral plays here by Jaron Folds with a huge assist, a huge defensive possession, and a huge rebound on that free throw, and maybe he'll get to close this out with 2 free throws right here.
So it's interesting, Jace Howard subs in for Caleb Houston, who's played so well tonight. He'll be in for this free throw attempts by Jaron Folds. Nobody rebounding for Michigan. Folds misses the first free throw. And if he misses the second here, Northwestern will have a shot to tie the game. Still everybody behind the three-point line for Michigan. Nobody back to rebound this one. Folds' second free throw is no good off the front of the rim. Northwestern now has it. Bowie is fouled. And he was hit by both Brooks and Terrence Williams. Surprised with how the refs have called the game tonight. It wasn't a flagrant foul.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the harder fouls of the night, but I think the refs understand. It's part of the game plan, trying to not let Michigan take this three-pointer, or try not to let Northwestern take this three-pointer. It's going to be Boo Bowie's first free throws of the night. It's an interesting stat. He's been at the rim a decent amount. 2 huge free throws for Bowie right here.
Inside of 5 seconds, 4.8. Northwestern down 72-69. Bowie makes the first free throw, and do you rim this one out and try and get the offensive rebound?
No. I think you try to make this one, foul, make Michigan make their free throws, which they just missed their last 2, so I think you take the chance.
Here's the second free throw by Bowie to make it a 1-point game. Shot up, rims out, but Northwestern gathers the offensive rebound. Shot by Barry, no good, and Michigan will win. Just a meltdown for the Wolverines in the last 4 seconds, but Julian Roper II misses that last second three-pointer. Looked like a double clutcher for Northwestern. And Ryan Young was under the basket for the offensive rebound, but he did not have enough time to put a shot back up. Michigan wins this one 72-70. After a rough second half, they recover. Final 2.5 minutes without Hunter Dickinson and Musa Diabate.
Yeah, definitely a chaotic one for Michigan here. They let up the offensive board on that last free throw with a chance to tie it, even with a 2 for Northwestern. But like you said, the missed three-pointer, Michigan gets to take a deep breath. They had to finish that game without 2 of their best players in Hunter Dickinson and Musa Diabate. But at the end of the day, a win is a win, and Michigan advances from this one and improves their Big Ten record.
Yeah, Northwestern falls to 9-9. Michigan continues their winning streak, now stretched to 3 games with those wins over Maryland and Indiana combined with this win tonight over Northwestern. 72-70. Exciting finish here from Chrysler Center. For Abe Weiner, I'm William Gregory. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. Have a good night and go blue.